Hello everybody, Cacti and Carnivores here, and today I'm going to be finally repotting my Christmas cacti. Technically the Thanksgiving cacti, but I don't really care too much about the specific name. Well, I kind of do, but anyways, they've long since needed a repotting. They've for quite a while now. I believe this one has been root bound for like almost a year. And I have heard that Christmas cacti do best while root bound, but at least for these ones it doesn't seem to be true. So I'm going to give them a little fresh up. I'm also going to be repotting this really sickly one that has blotches on it, just to see if it needs a boost from the soil and can recover, and then maybe put out some new fresh leaves that I could put in the ground and maybe get a clone of the new plant. So yeah, that's going to be it. And what I'm going to be using is this stuff, Miracle Grow Cactus, Palm, and Citrus potting mix. I don't think it's the best for really desert cacti, because it's got a lot of organic materials in it. I think it has peat moss in it, which is kind of odd. But for these plants, I believe it will do well, because they're more epiphytes and grow in more organic material rich soil. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so first I'm going to be planting this big one right here. Has been repotted a lot and tends to grow really well with roots. So I'm going to be using this pot. It's sort of a just plastic pot that I got it when I first got the plant, to repot it several years later. And so yeah, it's gonna be it. So let's just break this thing open. I'll break it all the way, what the hell. So here's the soil. It's enriched with Miracle Grow, which wouldn't be good for other plants, like a lot of carnivorous plants. But for these, it will do pretty well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place some soil near the bottom. And I'll adjust it later. And then while we're doing that, just pop this one out of its pot. It is quite root bound at the bottom, if you can't see. Is that mold? I hope not. So I guess try and just get this one off. Might want to try and get some of the roots. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, it is quite root bound there. Look at it, the bottom is all packed up, and you can barely see there's some stuff there, some chicken wire, not really chicken wire, but some mesh just to keep the soil from falling out. So as you can see, it's a little bit too much soil. I want it so it's just up at about quite, yeah, so that should be pretty good. Just hits the bottom, and then I'm just gonna sort of put soil, build it up around the center. A lot of people use a spoon to sort of get it in the crevices around it, but personally I just use my hands, because it's easier to get it in. Yeah, these have been needing a repot for a while. If you watched any of my plant logs, you could, I've stated multiple times that they've needed a repotting for quite a while. So filling up around the cracks. Alright, it's pretty good. Don't have to hold it in place now. And it gets these little, like, there's these little, like, sort of spheres in here that, I guess release fertilizer and dissolve with water. So I guess that's what the enrichment is exactly. So I guess it's kind of interesting. This might be a bit too high up, but oh well, it's not that bad. I've been needing a repotting for a while, so it's, yeah, they haven't been putting out any new leaves, and they are all severely root bounded, so I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna put some in the center. Actually, no, I'm not. That's a terrible idea. Take out this tag, and then get it up all in the crevices. Almost done here. Just get a bit more. Just kind of get it up around the center. Get this other tag out. For some reason it came with 2 tags, which is weird. It also said that it is a Yoop. I have no idea what that is. A Schlumbergia, or whatever you want to say, Yoop. And it does say it's white, so it wasn't false advertising, at least. Unlike some of the other ones I've gotten. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, just pack it down into the corners and make sure everything's good. And give them my hands a dust off. And it's a little... Here's the final product, if you will. The soil's a little, like, not settled, but we'll take care of that pretty soon. Alright, so second cactus up. This is the other white cactus, white holiday cactus. It comes out of the roots pretty, comes out of its pot pretty easily. This is really weird. You can see the original, like, root ball that it was in. You can see the bottom and all. I guess the repotting job was a little weird on this one, which is my fault. So that clay pot was kind of not as good anyways. And so I'm going to be putting it... Please don't bark at this. Come on, I have a video going. Anyways, so I'm going to be putting it in this black pot. It looks like it's going to need some soil, so put it on side here. And just fill the bottom with a little bit of cactus soil to get it elevated with the rest of the pot. And that's about good. And then this may need some finer adjustments because I'm just going to be putting and filling up the edge. The basic process is to just take it out of its pot, or cut it open if it's plastic and not really as durable. If it's not like a ceramic pot, then you're kind of screwed. and then just place it in the pot, or add some soil in the bottom, and then place it in the pot to make sure that it's up and aligned with the edge of the pot, and then just fill it up with fill the edge around the root ball with soil until it's about good. I can use the tag as a pretty good tool to just get all that extra soil, or not extra, but just soil down in the bottom, so the plants have more to dig through, and so they're not like back up in their root bound sort of forms within 5 months or so. Christmas cacti are pretty fast growing plants for cacti. Usually cacti kind of are more slower grower. What the hell? Slow growers. In like comparison to garden plants. I guess it's due to their habitat and them being sort of in more poor moisture environments, so they have to sort of grow slower and conserve get as much as they get when they can when it does rain. So I'm going, but with Christmas cacti, I'm pretty sure they're tropical plants, so they probably get a lot more moisture in their environment, and so are able to grow pretty well. This one has been rotting though on the edge, the edges of its root or bottom sort of leaf pad sort of. And the sun's coming out. It's pretty foggy, not foggy, but cloudy day. Not as sunny as it usually is, which is odd. And it should give the video a bit more of a brighter look, if you will. That should be good. Just let's pat down the soil. Get more of it in. And then put the tag back in. Oh. Well, I guess this tag's useless then. I can put it in there like that. It's mislabeled anyways. It's a white Christmas cactus. The flowers are white instead of it being pink, so bunch of liars. But here's the plant. It will most likely grow well. If not, it will just sort of die and wither back. And before we move on to the next plant, you just take this big one here and put in all the tags back, because I forgot to do that. There. It's pretty good. Next up is the really depressed, if you will, poor, root-bound, sickly red Christmas cactus. So it's not doing as well, or it's not doing good. It hasn't been doing good for a while, and has only been showing a little sign of growth. The new growth is right there, but other than that, it's remained an old and withering plant. So I'm just thinking, if we give it a little extra soil and nutrients, it might bounce back. So if I'm gonna be replanting the plants that that have like smaller sort of that were in smaller pots, and plant them up a lot bigger, because they do tend to grow really fast when they're small. Well, I don't know. It'll just give them a good boost, like this one. And some people say to just pot up the next size up on the pot and don't over pot, but this has never, for me, this has never been a problem for Christmas cacti. They do get a lot more moisture in their habitats, natural habitats, than like any other typical desert cactus, so I don't think this really applies. And even if this plant does die, I won't be too surprised, to be honest. We'll at least have given it best life it could have had. Well, probably not the best life. The temperatures are kind of high and the humidity's a little low. Get out of here, fly. These flies have been freaking maniacs, I swear to God. But that's pretty much it for this one. Try and get it all packed down. And here's the pot and the plant. It's all potted up, and the tag, make sure not to break this one this time. There it is. Alright, next up is the cutting of the big old Christmas cactus. It has been root bound for quite a while, and the pots will be taken off. And like the last one, and probably with the next one, I'll be using these orange pots. So they are about there, so I'd say an inch up. This one especially needs a good repotting. I believe it hasn't grown for like a long time. Yeah, about there should be nice. So just fill it up, and then get the soil in that part between the root ball and the sides of the pot, the inside of the pot. There we go. And so I believe, yeah, this should use more soil over here so it doesn't get lopsided. Potting is very different between different plants. For Christmas cacti and for a lot of other cacti in general, you usually just take the existing root ball and then you just put more soil around it. But with other plants, sometimes you just remove all of the existing old soil and then put on, and then also plant it in a bigger pot, but also give it more of a bigger pot and more soil. So this one, it's a little lopsided. But repotting can be quite difficult, and it really won't hurt the plant. The plant doesn't have a rhizome or anything, so it doesn't like kind of slowly move to the edge of the pot as it grows. It just kind of grows outward and falls down. So that's the Christmas cactus cutting. And last, but probably least, this really small cutting I took and just kind of, it was a bit of an experimentation. And like the last two, I'm using an orange pot. So this one's going to be kind of a challenge. I'm going to just fill up pretty much half the pot, because this root ball is like almost tiny for, well, not for the plant, it's pretty okay, but in comparison to this pot, it's good. And like I said before, there's no real risk of over potting unless you pot like in really poor draining soil. And because of the speed at which they grow, I feel like larger pots will do really well for them. That cutting I had, that cutting with the red flowers, not the sickly plant, but there's another cutting I have, and that one's in an orange pot, and it's only like 2 lobes. It used to be 2 lobes. Now it's like 10, because that one grew so fast because it wasn't root bound. And so I believe it doesn't, there's no specific risk of them being root bound. And just get that soil packed in. I'm going to try and get a really thorough replanting so they don't get root bound within like a short while. Yeah. And I'd say that's about right. And so there's, actually maybe not. We have some stuff here that needs to be finished up. Alright, okay. There, so here it is, all finished, potted up. Looks pretty nice. You won't really be able to see the bottom of the plant, but it will be healthy. A lot healthier than it was before. So let's just get everything over. They're kind of a bit more unified now, now that they all have, these three at least have the same pot. And so you've got this big one back here. Put this tag in the bottom. And so, let's see if the camera's getting, sorry about that. That's all of those right there. And so, in order to keep them, in order to let the soil to settle down, I'm going to give them a quick water. So, hold on a second. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I get the hose out. Let's use the full. So I got the setting on like this, a bit further. Actually, like barely. Hold on. It's a soaker, mist, jet, vertical, shower, angle, flat. Maybe flat? Yeah, flat. And just give them a water. Let the soil settle through. Get them established. Their pots were dry before repotting, so this is pretty needed. I always try to make sure they're not watered. They haven't been watered in a while when I pot them up, so when I do water to get the soil all settled, they don't like get root rot, although they probably won't. Yeah, so with this soil, I've found that once it does get settled, it will start to drain a lot better than it usually does when you first water it. Like, it is kind of more, a bit like mossy. It's got peat moss and like other organic stuff, so it doesn't drain too well. So, but after a while, it will start to settle really well, and I'm not sure if that's the roots. Just let everything sink through. And might as well. Is there any water? Okay, there's not water on the camera. Don't want to break my $1 billion camera. It's not $1 billion. And for this big one, oh Jesus Lord, BB, I guess. It's gonna be a bit harder to water these now, because now that the soil isn't completely stuck to the plant. Let's see. Also, this one has a like a drain thing to it. It's like, I don't really know what this is about, if it really helps or not. Just get this one a good water, because there's a lot of soil here. And that should be all. That will be all. That will be all, bitch. I'm going crazy, I am. And now that the soil is nice and wet and good for... Sorry for the constant noise of the hose in the background. I can't exactly have this thing running at its highest speed. So, just gonna wash off all of that soil and get it all off. There we go. Then take these pots and hold on to them. I usually save my pots for other things. Get that greasy, gross slime. Just water. And all of them are potted up, so I can safely say this job is complete. And here is the final shot of the plants. Here they are. And goodbye.